And we're live. So, welcome everybody to yet another live interview with Become a Fearless Father. And today, my guest, Wayne Sutton, had the pleasure of being on his show. When was that?
Absolutely.
It was like yesterday, to be honest.
It wasn't long ago, no.
Right? That was awesome. So, now I have the pleasure of laying him all the fire at his feet. So, let's get started right away, man, with one of your favorite topics, right? So, how does one go about achieving their goals and dreams?
Man, I love that. That is it. You have to have a clear outcome, absolute clear outcome, but be flexible in your behavior. I mean, that's my biggest key. Clear outcome. Otherwise, you wake up and you just, the river runs you instead of you running down the river or running up the river. So you got to have a clear outcome, and you got to be flexible in your behavior, how you get there. And you got to have absolute tenacity. I mean, you're going to get hit in the mouth. You got to come back up, you got to keep on fighting with a goal. What am I working for? What am I doing today? I think that's my biggest secret.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So how do you, when you get up, right? How do you determine, are you determining in the morning, or when are you determining like, okay, these are the actions I'm going to take today, and how do you go about determining which actions you're going to take, which goals you're going to try to achieve?
That's good. That's good. Number one, I kind of do it the night before, because I believe you program that unconscious mind. This is what I need to accomplish today.
There you go.
And so me, literally, it's an iPad with a notability app. I write it out. And I think there's something about handwriting that you want it handwritten, not typed. So I write it out. I go to bed. When I wake up in the morning, I don't leave the bed before I spend some time in prayer. I just spend a moment in prayer, and then and then I get up and go, okay, what's the first thing I need to accomplish? And if you've got it scheduled, it's not that big of a deal. Today is a crazy schedule. It happens, but at least if you have a schedule, okay, this is what I need to handle. For instance, today I'm finishing a webinar. What's my missing piece? One testimonial. So I've called this person. I emailed this person. I Facebooked this person. I sent them a Zoom link. Can we get a testimonial today? Now I can lay that aside and push them towards next. If I don't get it today, what's my number two? Just having a attack the first thing that you need to attack. And then making time for yourself. I mean, you've got to make time for you too. Yeah.
Exactly. Now I haven't read the book, but I heard something about Eat the Frog, which from what I understand is like you try to take care of like the biggest and the hardest goal first. What's your philosophy on that? Because I like to do an easy one first, so I feel good and excited, and then I'll move along.
That's good. I think it can kind of go both ways. And what I mean by that, I've never read the book. I think that is the philosophy of the book. I didn't like the name of the book. I'm not going to eat a frog. So I'm not going to. I think it goes back to your different archetypes. So some people wake up wide awake, full of energy, ready to roll. My best friend is 10:30 in the morning. Then he's groggy for 2 hours. But then he's fearless the rest of the day. He needs to handle smaller tasks up front, and then from 7 p.m. till 2 in the morning, he'll create a webinar, build websites. He'll go drive. I'm a little different because I have children and I'm waking up anyway. So I want to handle my big task first, just so it's out of the way. Otherwise, it sits up here in my head. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Handle that first, then I can move forward, and it just brings peace to me. So. Yeah,
exactly. So that's great advice, man. So it all depends on who you are and what kind of season you're in, right?
Yeah, there's a book.
Older or not? Yeah, man, that makes perfect sense.
There's a book that talks about the sleep archetypes, and I don't understand the book. I glanced at it. I took the little quiz. But you're a bear, you're a wolf, you're a dolphin, and it tells you what time to drink coffee, what time to have sex. All of this based on your archetype. All I know is I get up early. I retire a little early, but it's because kids. And I love being a dad, so I work around that schedule. I'm doing coaching tonight till about 5. I'm doing a webinar at 8. I'm crashing after the webinar. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to do anything else. But I'm going to be up early in the morning finishing something else. So it depends on the person. Too many people read a book and go, this is the path. And if I don't follow this path, then I'm wrong. And it's great for selling books. But it's not great in everybody's life,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I love reading different books and then figure out what works, right? Take action, try it, of course, even if you're like, right? Try it, and then take whatever you can use and then, discard.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it makes perfect sense, man. Wayne, before we go any further, man, share a little bit of background story, origin story, whatever you want to call it, about you before we continue.
A little background story. Okay. My mom and dad met. No.
All right.
Not that far back. Man, I've been an entrepreneur at heart. I've always had this tear in my heart. I'm going to just tell you, Klaas, I was a tear until just a few years ago, and I'm almost 50. The first tear was I'm an entrepreneur. How can I build a business? How can I build wealth? How can I create for my family and leave a legacy and all this fun stuff? The heart of an entrepreneur. How can I work 90 hours a week for myself so I don't work 40 hours for somebody else? And then there was the heart of I'm a minister. And so I want to be a minister. I want to counsel. I want to help people. And how can I do both? And it was always a tear until I realized both are. It is not a yin and yang. They are together. If I'm truly, as an entrepreneur, serving people, or I'm truly helping people in the ministerial, both can handle. And so a little backstory about me, man, I started my first business at 13 years old. It failed miserably. I was running ads in the National Enquirer. I don't know if you have those in your country, but I was running ads. I was selling products through mail order. I got into network marketing. Network marketing taught me a lot. And there's a lot of bad vibes around it. But it taught me a lot about residual income. It taught me a lot about working with other people. And it taught me a whole lot about sales and marketing. So that's kind of my background. And then from ministerial, I went into coaching and thought, hey, I love to train coaches. So that's what I do now more than anything is I teach coaches how to set up marketing programs. So, but you can't just go, I'm going to do this without a lot of experience. My experience has been in many different backgrounds, but it all comes together hoping to help serve somebody and serve myself in the process. So.
Absolutely. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Real quick, so all of our fellow entrepreneur dads know married. How many
yes. Yeah. So
for the whole picture, right?
Oh, the whole picture. Okay. I'm married. I have 5 children. I have one son that is 25. Actually, I'll be 26 tomorrow. Then I got remarried. So, life happens. And I married younger this time. And she was like, I want a family. And I'm like, me too. So we have 4 daughters. And so I have 4 daughters at home. And so we love, I love being married. I really do. I love being single too, so I can't really say it either way. But I love being married. I love my daughters. I love being a dad. And we talked about this the other day, I love that when I'm gone, my legacy can continue through video, through teachings, through material, through the lives I've affected. And that's one thing a lot of these dads, if you're an entrepreneurial dad, I don't care what you're doing, if your life ended today, has your impact for your family or somebody that your family can say, wow, look what dad did. That's what matters, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that you started your first business at 13 and you failed miserably, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let me ask you, because failure is a big thing. What did failure mean for you then? And what is your philosophy now?
Oh, wow. I think it was almost the same then. I really don't think I even had a concept of failure. Nice. So we spent $300 or $400 on this ad. We run an ad. We had a post office box. We're going to sell this product. We made $16. So we're negative. And you can see that as failure. For me, it taught me something. If I bring a product, people will pay me for it. This beats a job all day long. I mean, this is pretty cool. Failure is I believe failure is feedback. And I know that's very cliche, but it is feedback. That's all it is. If I failed, I failed at a first marriage. Whether I failed or she failed, I'm not here to blame. The marriage failed. What can I learn from that I can take into my second marriage and hopefully my last marriage? What can I bring? If somebody fails, if I do something today and I fail, what did I learn? We talked about martial arts. I remember the first time I got my ribs cracked and somebody, I failed to block something I should have blocked. It was feedback. It was feedback. And I don't want to do that again. I need to learn. You got to get those reflexes up. So failure for me means I didn't achieve what my mind thought I was going to achieve. That doesn't always mean a success or failure. And I think Tony Robbins says it the best. Your view of happiness, your image, and where you're really at, the disconnect of that is your unhappiness. That's it. If you think you should be where you're at on your path, you'll find happiness because you know you're in the journey.
I like that. For those who are watching, make sure you hit that heart button, and also share with us your philosophy in regards to failure. I'm always I like to see other people share what they think what failure means. I think we can learn a lot from other people sharing what they think. So do me a favor and write out what you think about failure. As I said, we learn from each other as much as we learn from ourselves.
That's true.
So, man, I appreciate you sharing that. So, we talked about coaching, right? So you help coaches to make sure they're present to sell more, right? What are the keys to making sure that coaches start selling more?
Oh man, I just recorded a video before.
There you go. Perfect timing.
Yeah, so perfect timing. There's two things. There's a number of things, but I always like bringing it down to two things. Number one, you've got to be known. Obscurity is your biggest enemy. If people don't know you're a coach, they don't know you're a trainer, they don't know you're a consultant, they can't hire you. Doesn't matter how good you are. I work with real estate agents that are like, I'm really good. I love my clients. I serve my clients. So what? If they don't know you, they can't do business with you. So obscurity is your biggest enemy. You've got to be known. Number two, and this is really important, you've got to have a crystal clear offer. People know, okay, he's a coach, he's a martial artist, he's a consultant. What does that really mean? Unless it's a clear benefit, crystal clear, then they know who you are, but very few are going to reach out. You've got to eradicate obscurity, and you've got to be crystal clear in what you offer somebody. A power offer, and then they go, wow, yes, I need that, or I don't need it. And if they don't need it, that's okay. If they do, then they hire you as a coach.
Exactly. Well, maybe they don't, and they know somebody that does, and they can refer
does, or maybe they will in the future. They will in the future. 6 months later, 9 months later, life happens.
Yep.
I need this,
So. Absolutely, and life happens fast, as we've seen, now with everything going on in the world. No, absolutely. Man. So let me ask you, right? Got to be known. What is your system to make sure that everybody knows Wayne Sutton?
Oh man. Okay, so this will, I'll give you two answers. Number one, you've got to look at your financial budget. Some people blow all of their money on Facebook ads and posts and all this. Some people don't have it to blow. I think you should do organic. What's my system? It's evolved. Plus, it really has evolved. I used to think I need to be on YouTube. I need to be on Vimeo. I need to be on Snapchat. I need to be on all of these. The problem is everybody's trying to do that, and you don't really ever get an audience. So what I have, transformed into is, where's my audience at? If for instance, I used to say, I didn't tell you this last time. I used to sell martial arts videotapes.
Oh, wow.
And I taught people self-defense and through martial arts and Jeet Kune Do and videotapes, and we called it power karate or something. I don't remember what we called it. But we had one VHS here and another VHS player, and we were recording them, putting labels on them and mailing them all over the world. Where was my audience? Black Belt magazine. Yeah. That's all I could afford was one ad. I'd spend $500, I'd make $2,000. I'd spend $500 more, make $2,000 more. Today's things have changed. You've got to be out there where your audience is. And the beautiful part today in Facebook, I don't care what you're selling, there's a group for it. You've got to be in there, and you've got to be in there giving advice, giving help, and have a clear power offer. If you need help, here I am. So to be everywhere, now one more tip. This is a little marketing, if that's okay. I always tell people the number one thing you can get today is an email address from someone. And here's why. With an email, I can email them. I still get 20% open rates on email, so it still works. But I can also take that email and I can find somebody's Facebook, LinkedIn, and I can connect with them there. I can also take that same email and put a custom audience in Facebook, and they're going to see my ads. So if I meet somebody, I'll give you a real life example. This person here has a pressure washing business. But he needed marketing help. I put his email in. Now he sees me on Facebook. Now he sees me on LinkedIn. Now he gets my email. Yeah. So it's just, you've got to know how to get that person And you got to have a clear message every time. You got to educate people.
Mm-hmm.
Education builds rapport. Education builds trust. They know if they need you or not. They may not need you now, but they may 6 months from now. So
exactly. Priceless. I appreciate that. Let's go a little bit more in. We talked a little bit about business. Now let's go a little bit more into life, right? So I'm big on Les Brown. I'm listening to things and stuff like that, right? And one of the things that he mentioned is like, you don't want to die and then have all your opportunities standing over you. And, he says it way better than I do, of course. But, he mentions like, the regret, right, at the end. What are some of the things? How do you go about thinking about this? And how do you make sure that you can guarantee as much as you can that you won't have any regrets by the time that, your life has ended?
Yeah. I do it two ways. Number one, I begin my day with prayer, and I really believe in divine guidance.
Mm.
If I'm guided by my Creator, and He puts a problem before me, a solution, challenge, whatever, then that's the right path. That's my spiritual side. I believe that's important. Secondly, is I look at things sometimes and go, would this really matter to anybody? Because if it doesn't matter now, and it's not going to matter 5 years from now, why am I spending time? You only have so much time and energy in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm spending time in something that doesn't have an eternal or a long-term effect, then is it worth my time? And it could be a hobby, but I need to limit that time.
Mm-hmm.
Just, worthless watching YouTube videos. But if that's not going to have an effect on my business, I'm not watching something that's going to help me. So to live a life where I don't regret it on my deathbed is I want my children to look at me and go, you were a great dad.
Mm-hmm.
You were a great provider. And we're going to take what you taught me and we're going to live out our life with it. Mm-hmm. What lessons can I live? The Bible says those who do not leave an inheritance for their children's children are worse than an infidel. Mm-hmm. So I don't believe inheritance just means finances. I believe it is a way of thinking, a way of living. So that's how I do it. And I'm sure, hey, listen, here's the key. You're going to mess up. Nobody's going to be perfect, but at least striving towards it gets you closer to the goal. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, man, I think absolutely we mess up, right? But I also believe that because I have just for some reason this week a lot of clients reaching out to me and it's like, wow, I can't believe that this and this happened and it's just my son's so upset with me or my daughter's so upset with me and blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, but it's okay. The reason why he's upset with you is because you did something, meaning like you take an action to try and improve something. It went wrong. Now you learn from it. I mean, you should be proud of yourself. Stop worrying about it. Apologize if necessary. Give him a big hug. Give her a big hug, right? Say you love them, and then let's move on. Next day, dude, you're absolutely right. It was so amazing. We had the best day ever. Da-da-da. I said, see, that's what it's all about. Bad days, bad moments. You have them, right? Let's move on. Yeah. Absolutely, man. So let me ask you this. 4 daughters, right? All still in the house?
Yeah, you'll probably hear them in a few minutes. I hear them downstairs now. They're all in the house. Yep.
We like that. So how do you make sure that you stay connected with your significant other?
Yeah, that's a great question. In our coaching business, and I don't mean to treat every person in my family like a client, but sometimes it helps. In the coaching business, I always ask what's most important to this person. Or I ask them what's most important to you. And I have to either be interested in that, or if there's zero interest at all, okay, great. Let them have that space. Now, what else is important to you? I've got to find something that has a connection with them, something that matters to them. My son, for instance, he loves tattoos and death metal music. I don't. But he loves podcasting. He's got a podcast.
Oh, nice.
So we talk about podcasting. And we're totally different in different beliefs, but that's okay. Some things we connect on what we can connect with. With my daughters, my 9-year-old loves art. My 6-year-old wants to be a teacher. My twins, they're 3. They're learning what they love. Mm-hmm. They love to play with baby dolls. So getting outside of my own head and getting into their world. And I will say this too, I'm not the best at it. We're learning, and we have to know that. We have to realize I'm not the best at this. So I need to improve in this.
Mm-hmm.
because I'm an outcome focused. That's probably the coaching me. What's the outcome here? Again, and sometimes an outcome for a child is just sit down and play. There is no outcome. I have to remind myself of that. So
yeah. I gotta agree with that. Sometimes it's hard. My both my sons, they like to play with these super sings, and all I hear the whole time is and I'm just like, Daddy, you want to play with us? I'm like, dude, I honestly don't know what do you want me to do? Go as well?
Well, my 6-year-old, she wants to play Barbie dolls, but you can't play right with her. If you move the Barbie doll the wrong way or say it wrong, no, that's not how you do it. It's not. So I finally get frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Let's play something else.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn again. I had to learn to divert that and find something else. So that's the key, I think, is just loving them enough to try to get into their world and realize when you can't.
Absolutely.
I don't have to be in their world in every area. That's okay. Their mom can be, or their other sister can be.
True. Yeah, that's the great thing of that. Yeah, absolutely. So before we end this live interview, Wayne, let me ask you, what's one golden nugget that you would love to share with our fellow entrepreneur dads?
Oh, wow. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to be willing to find that mentor, that coach, and you got to realize it's hard being a dad. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean this wrong, but because I know there's entrepreneur moms, we're talking to dads, right? So let's just be real. Most dads are carrying the weight of the family. If the mortgage gets paid, if the car payment's paid, if food is on the table, it's not always, but it's most of the time that the male role, or at least part of it's the male role. In my family, it's all me. So I'm focusing on this. You've got to believe in yourself. You got to believe you can do this. Mm-hmm. And you got to be willing enough to say, you got to humble yourself and go, I don't have a clue in this area, and I need to find somebody that does. Mm-hmm. Whether that's a coach, a consultant, an advisor, whatever, I need help in this area, and you find somebody and go help. And you got to be real. You got to be transparent. I mean, you just got to say, hey, I suck at this, or this part of my life sucks. Help. And learn to turn off the entrepreneurial mind and be a family man. And turn it back on when it's time to turn it back on. So
exactly, yeah, that's a hard one, man.
That's hard for all of us. It is.
Yeah, that's great advice, man. I appreciate that. Besides going to your website, howtosellyourcoaching.com, what's the best way to get in contact with you, connect with you, follow you, ask you questions, whatever it is?
Yeah, well, I'm mostly on Facebook, and that's the biggest thing. If you go on Facebook, you can find me there. How to Sell Your Coaching. However, we'll have a link to our podcast, or have a link to our webinar. You got a free book you can download. So it's kind of our one-place portal. Mm-hmm. You can also, if somebody says, hey, Wayne, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business leader, I want to do more coaching or more consultant, then they can jump over to callwithwayne.com. It's just a calendar. We'll take 10, 15 minutes. I'll talk about anything or anything. It's no sales pitch. I just love to connect with people. I really do. But howtosellyourcoaching.com is going to be the primary way for somebody to find me there. So
fantastic. Well, the website is in the description. And if you're watching this on Facebook, then it's also in the comments section. So easy to click and get connected with Wayne. Wayne, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it. Everybody else, thank you for watching. Make sure to smash that heart button as an appreciation for Wayne taking the time to share all these golden nuggets with us. And we will see each other again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.